I mean, this is going to be a blockbuster. And let me thank the pandemic for allowing me not having to go to the movie theater to be breathed upon, that I could watch it in the privacy of my home and enjoy the hell out of it. And it is good. It is good from the opening scene. How did you get this role?
It started off as a regular audition process. I made a self-tape late at night after my kids had gone to bed, and I sent it in. Then I got a call back to go in with casting, a second call back to go in with casting, and then they flew me to New Mexico to meet with Taylor Sheridan.
And what did they tell you about this? Like, did you know it was going to be? Because I think it's going to be huge. What did they tell you about you? You're playing the wife of the sheriff, and you know.
I started off. I auditioned with just 2 scenes, so I didn't know where my character went. I only knew where her life started, and then like I knew it was a Taylor Sheridan movie, and I'm a huge fan of his movie, so I didn't necessarily, once I got into it, think it would be a blockbuster, but I knew it was a movie that I would go see. And so I was excited about it for that reason.
Taylor Sheridan, she directed a bunch of other, of course, I'm looking at him.
Wind River, Sicario, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, and then he's a Taurus too, so that makes sense. Okay. So you're in this relationship. It is intrigue from the, like I said, from the door. I don't want to give away too much. There's something going on. There's murder and mayhem and explosions and fires, and you're going to be in the center of everything that's going down, and you're pregnant in this. That people can see from the door. What's unexpected that you can tell us about this movie for those to get us in, people who are on the fence about seeing it or aren't quite sure?
Well, I think for one, if you're on the fence about seeing it, definitely go see it. It's a summer blockbuster, like the kind of movie that normally kicks off the summer, and we've all had a rough year plus, so just go see it and have a good time. Bank on that. The other thing, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised when I show up on screen, because it's set in the Pacific Northwest, a part of the country that you don't normally see people of color represented, but we're there. We exist in, every community and every walk of life. And so I think some people will be surprised by that. And then I think they'll be surprised that Taylor Sheridan has a wonderful way of like setting up scenarios, but then going the opposite direction of the tropes that you're normally used to see. So you see a pregnant woman show up on screen, you think it's going to go one way, it is going to go the other way.
Let me tell you, I started watching Yellowstone during the pandemic. I finished that. And the last episode I was like, like the twist on that, I'm like, what's going to happen when they come back? That show, if that's any indication of what this is, and Sicario, forget about it.
Yeah,
the man knows how to tell a story. He knows how to tell a story.
All right. You're from New York.
Yes, ma'am.
Originally born and raised up in
born in Cambridge, but I moved to Long Island when I was 1 year old. So grew up on Long Island, went to school in Long Island, didn't leave Long Island until I went to college.
Okay. So while Long Island is in New York, depending on whether it was Nassau or Suffolk, it's like Jersey. Like if people say they're from Camden, I'm like, no, that's not Jersey.
And you know what, Karen, I'm with you there. I say I'm from New York. I do not say I'm a New Yorker, because there is a difference between growing up in the city and growing up on Long Island. So I don't try to fake the funk.
Okay, thank you for that, because I was going, what's up? So little Medina growing up in Long Island, how does she get into this acting thing?
I just always loved it. I can't remember any particular origin. It was the extracurricular activity I always wanted to be in. I just love storytelling. I love performing. If I could sing, like I loved musical theater growing up. I was like a weird musical theater nerd, but I can't sing. I just had a passion for it. Yes, you too. Okay, see,
absolutely.
Everyone
not me, Joyelle. Joyelle, definitely.
So yeah, it's just been a passion my whole life.
Yeah, I'm a stand-up comedian by trade now, but I'm making the transition into acting and doing the audition process now. So a lot of people don't know we're doing a lot of self-tapes in quarantine, and we're not doing live auditions anymore. You're a Juilliard trained actress. How do you prep for a self-tape where you're not going to get any type of feedback from a casting director in the room?
I tell you, it's been hard because this whole year not going in the room, I've been doing my tapes here at home, and I just feel like I've spent a whole year in a room talking to myself. And it's rough because I vibe off of like the energy of the person across from me, and when there's no one there. So the way I prep changes day to day, and it changes depending on the material. And I do 100 different things depending on the particular day.
Wait, so Juilliard, chemical engineering degree from Howard, and a law degree,
Yes, ma'am.
and now you're starring in blockbusters, and you're a mom, and I mean, so I love this because I had a conversation earlier with Jake Tapper, who's doing novels, and he's also a cartoonist, and he's on CNN. And I think, we have been conditioned to be, jack of all trade, master of none. We got to stay in your lane. You got to stay in your box. But I feel like we can do all things, right? So we have all of these things that wire us, that excite us, and we should explore all of the facets of our character and personality and our loves and desires and passions. So I love that you were a chemical engineer, started down that road, and then was like, I'm going to go to law school and get a law degree. And now I'm performing in a blockbuster with Angelina Jolie. Go ahead now.
Well, the chemical engineering, my mom is African-American. My dad, I told you, is a Gambian immigrant. So, growing up in a household like that, the chemical engineering was like, okay, you have to tick that off for the parents because you don't have a choice. It's engineering, doctor, dentist, accountant. Those are your options. Okay, so we had to get that off. I always knew I'd go to law school. I just always wanted to study law. I think I probably grew up watching LA Law and thought that that's what being a lawyer would be like. So I always wanted to do that. And then the acting was always there in the background. And so ultimately, I eventually took the leap to take the big risk and go for what my true love was. But, first I had to do the practical thing, the safe thing that, so many of us.
Wait, what was that conversation with your father?
Oh, when I made the switch?
Yeah.
Oh, they thought I had lost my mind. They thought I had lost my mind. They didn't tell me at the time, but afterwards, like once I got into Juilliard and that made them feel a little bit better, they said, we were praying for you. We were praying about you. They really thought I had cracked because, who leaves a successful law career to go and become an actor? And, I sort of joke about it, but it's because my parents wanted me to be secure and they want me to be taken care of. So I completely understand their concern. But luckily I've made it through to the other side.
Well, technically, that just shows that you were acting the whole time, doing doing stuff that you didn't want to do. But were any of those disciplines fulfilling to you at all during the time that you were in them?
They were. I studied chemical engineering because chemistry and math were my favorite subjects in high school. So I absolutely loved studying chemical engineering. I loved studying law. I loved every minute of it. And I loved aspects of litigating when I practiced law, but there were a lot of aspects that just did not feed me and made me miserable, including like the culture of the workplace and the hours and having no balance. So once I got a few years into my law practice, I started to feel really unfulfilled and like there was a part of myself that was just screaming to have attention paid to it. But the education part, I loved every minute of.
Wow.
Hey,
You
as
have
a musical
children.
theater.
Wait,
oh,
hold
sorry.
on. I just want. Go ahead, Joyelle. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. As a musical theater nerd, I'm a super duper musical theater nerd. Taking race out of it, what role would you want to play? Iconic role of all time?
Oh, in musical theater?
Especially if race didn't matter.
I'd want to play Aldonza in Man of La Mancha.
Wow.
That's an old one.
Deep cut.
I'm dating myself. Yeah.
Okay.
You have two children?
I
Two
do.
babies? Okay. And how old are they?
They are 6 and 3.
Okay. They're little, right? And how, being raised in a household where you were directed to do the chemical engineering and to make sure you check those boxes, what are you parenting different than your parents?
I am. I believe that I am. And part of it is that, they raised me in a way that, kind of gave me the freedom to eventually grow into seeing things my own way. And also part of it is that now just seeing my children and having my plans in my head, like, oh, you're going to like this thing I liked. And then you meet them and they are just fully formed. Their personality is there.
Wow.
And so just watching them and watching their preferences, I've just kind of seen, oh, they're going to choose. And it's up to me to just like, drive them to the places they want to go and keep them safe. But, I recognize that it's going to be hard for me because there are things that, I'm into and I want my little people to be into too. And they may or may not be, and I'm just going to have to deal with it.
Tell us something about Angelina Jolie, who, again, from an acting standpoint, I'm not getting into the politics or anything else, or her daddy. I absolutely love everything that she's been in. Like, there's from the beginning, from Gia all the way through, I've been rocking with her, right?
Yeah.
Tell me something about her process that you learned or that you can share with us that can give some insight into her as an actress.
Well, she's one of the, like, watching her work on set, you can't see the work. And so it's like, that's the mark of a great actor. Like, there's no seams. You can't dissect it and see what she's doing. But as a person, chatting with her was literally like chatting to another mom that I ran into on the playground. So down to earth, so kind. She's been very generous to me in doing the press because, she's the star. People are coming to see her, and she's absolutely like wrapped her arms around me as a newcomer and embraced me and made sure that I had equal footing in the promoting of this movie. And I know that a lot of that has come from her. And yeah, just a lovely human being.
John Bernthal. I call him the Punisher or Shane from Walking Dead because that's where I know him from. I think he is also very incredible. And the chemistry between the two of you just feels like everything. Like, immediately I was like, oh, okay. And then the chemistry, I was like, I see him with her. I could see that. Tell me something about him that we don't know, because he's always playing this tough guy with the.
That's the thing. And the same thing, I know him from The Punisher because my husband watches the show, and dark and brooding and violent. And then you meet him and it's like, it's this face that you're used to seeing in all these violent, the kindest spirit, just like so gentle. And you get him talking about his kids and his face lights up. And it's a great thing when there's someone you admire from a distance and then you meet them and it's like, you're really awesome. So the rapport was there. He was easy to work with. And the love of the two characters, it was there on the page. It was so evident in the script that, we get like 3 pages to fall in love with this couple. And they are clearly like 2 people who are meant for each other. So, between him just being super cool and the script, necessitating that, it made our scenes just flow.
Medina Senghore is here. She plays Allison in Those Who Wish Me Dead. Was this role earmarked for a Black woman?
Scripts always start off someplace, so I don't know the history of it, but when I got it, I think it was any ethnicity. I think it was a couple of years ago, so forgive my memory. I think it was marked as any ethnicity.
All right, and Tyler Perry's in it, not as Medina. Medina. No, he's in it. What is he doing in the movie? Because I haven't gotten up to Tyler Perry's performance yet.
Then I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm not going to tell you. But
nice.
His when he shows up, it's good. It's good.
And he's not in a dress with big boobs and a wig.
No, he's a little intimidating.
Oh wow.
Tyler Perry,
tough guy.
It's a really cool scene, and one of the things that just sort of kind of like energetically, spiritually a little bit, once I got cast in it, I was like, my first major movie, I'm in a movie with Angelina Jolie and Tyler Perry, who are both people who are at the top of their game career-wise, but who do so much humanitarian work. it's almost like their acting career fuels the good they do in the world. And I just took that as like a really meaningful sign, because, you know, if you get a platform, that's what I feel, that's what I would hope, that's what I hope to do with it.
That's a common theme here on the Karen Hunter Show, and we are in alignment.